Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Garage Floor. I am solo streaming yet again on another Saturday. I'm your host, Tim, and today we're going to be starting off with some Soulstone Survivors. This is a game that I mentioned to Jeff about during our sort of Game of the Year discussions recently, while we were during our last Valheim stream. This is a game similar to Vampire Survivors, but it's definitely got a lot different going on with it. So yeah, first thing off is there's a variety of characters. Hopefully audio is coming in through just fine. Looks like it. And generally speaking, each character starts with their, like Vampire Survivors, they start with their own specific weapon, and which has its own like auto firing weapon thing, and each character has two different weapons you can choose, which affect what you can start with. So I'm gonna go with the Chaos Walker because there was something I was looking to get. And so I can just swap between two different starting weapons. For example, there's something I was looking to do. Right, this thing. So, yeah, this whole menu is a little tricky to navigate with a controller, but works fine with mouse and keyboard. So this is what I was looking at. No, not that one. This one. Controlled chaos. This whole thing you see here is runes. These are, you can equip them onto any character. I have unlocked the ability to have up to 5 rune slots. Some take up multiples, so this one costs 1, this costs 2, this 3, and this 4. So I'm currently in the process of kind of just unlocking various things. Some require playing at harder difficulties, or just, in the case of this one, just 300,000 enemies. It's just something you're just going to unlock as you're playing the game. And then all these at the top, these are like, these are resources you get just from playing the game as well, just from beating. So this you just kind of get as you're killing enemies and various things in the level. These are from killing the first boss, the second, third, fourth, fifth. So there's, generally speaking, there's 5 bosses in a run, and then the number of bosses can increase based on the difficulty and whatnot. So I'm going to start off with the Chaos Walker today. These little stars indicate the amount of levels I've leveled the character up, which doesn't really do anything gameplay wise other than just unlock a few options. So like this one I've played a lot, this one I've played a lot, this one I played a lot, this one I played the most. Or playing the most is not true. Playing the most in like as far as leveling up and whatnot, because some higher difficulties will give you more XP, so it'll naturally increases higher even if I don't play them that much. Anyway, so I was gonna swap in. I'm not sure what I want to put in because I want to try this rune out because I just got it. So this basically so the game's weapons are kind of split into different categories, different types. Chaos, for example, this is like, these are some of the examples you see here for the chaos abilities. They're generally like a random roll for damage. So in this case it's 1 to 80, or in this one it's 1 to 140. So I'm going to swap out something. I think I can just take that one out. I don't need it. I take less damage and I'm pushed back less, but it's fine. I want to use this thing because it, if you're familiar with D&D terms, Dungeons and Dragons, essentially gives you advantage. So roll 2, the damage is rolled twice, and then it takes the highest roll. So advantage in D&D. This game is currently in early access, so there's definitely a lot of things that can be improved. For example, menu navigation with the controller. Like I can show you here. It's tricky to tell what you're navigating at times. So, like it's a lot easier to navigate this stuff with just the mousey. So there isn't like a specific map that I want to do right now, because I've completed at higher difficulties, and these are just like stacking on more and more curses, which just increase the difficulty. So some of these I completed to unlock characters or whatever, but I don't have anything in mind right now. I don't believe. Well, this one requires tier 6. I guess I can do that one. And it's this level. I don't have any levels unlocked, so I might as well do this. I don't think there's anything crazy happens at the first tier. Higher tiers is when you start getting additional bosses, and in some case, instead of normally spawning 1 boss, it can spawn up to 3, and then it just becomes harder and harder. Definitely took me a number of tries to beat tier 4 for one of these, or tier 5 in this case. So yeah, we'll start here, and I'll work my way up a little. I'll just do a few runs today. We'll see how it goes. A single run isn't... It's much shorter than... it's about half the time of like... Vampire Survivors, which is like max like 30 minutes usually. In this case, this game is like, there is no time limit, but well, as far as I know. But as you see in the top right, the objectives, you spawn a boss once you kill a certain number of enemies. So in this case, it's 400 before the first boss, and then it goes up and then so on. I don't really like Leviathan, because while it does increase damage a decent amount, it does decrease your speed, so I'm not playing a fast character or anything, so it's not worth getting. So this game does... So this is, I don't know, it's basically just movement. You're also aiming for some of the skills. Let's do... let's just do Glacier. I don't remember if Chaos Golem is random damage. I don't know. We'll do Glacier. So at the bottom, I have 3 skills right now, and part of that is because I have a rune that gives me a second weapon at the start. So yeah, there's a lot of skills that are like passive that just improve all of your skills of a specific type. So in this case, Chaos. So we'll do that. Multicasts, if it's not obvious, it basically gives you a chance of just using the ability multiple times in a row, and it does stack, so like it'll keep going up beyond doing it twice. So you can do... I've had instances where I'm just constantly firing off like 3 instances at a time. Shadow Orb's okay. Might is like... It doesn't actively damage, but it just boosts damage for its duration. Let's just do Shadow Orb. Shadow Orbs. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Lethality. Let's do that. That is just higher crit rate damage. Higher crit rate chance. Multicast. Frontal types. I guess. Magnet. Venomous is like not really doesn't matter for me right what I'm doing with this character. Magnetic is whatever. It's just lets me pick these things up closer, and I can already pick them up pretty far just from upgrading the character. Let's go. Chaos Bomb. Let's see. Do I want brutal strikes or do I think just damage? Probably fine. Another thing this game has, which I forgot to use there, is it has a dash. But it is on a cooldown. None of these are great for... I guess Doom is fine. So all of these stack. So if I get another Venomous, it just stacks. And usually what that does is like it increases... I believe it increases the actual total damage when I get multiples of Venomous. Multiples of Fateful Strikes gets increase the damage from Doom. I don't really care about defense in this game. Like, at least for this tier of difficulty. Oh, here's a fun one. Yeah, let's go Arcane Beam. It's just a beam. So the bosses are a lot... So one of the things that makes this game different from Vampire Survivors is the enemies and the bosses. Like see how quick that was to go down. Every time I apply a stack of bleed, there's a 50% chance of poison. Now normally I wouldn't choose this, but Chaos applies a random negative effect. So there's a chance I'll get a bleed. When that happens, there's a chance of poison. So it's like... Yeah, one of the things that makes this different from like Vampire Survivors is it's a lot more active. I have 2 skill points. Let's do multicast, and then... So now I'm at the point where I'm full, but I can replace something if I want to. I think I'm fine with what I got. So let's just... Relentless, I guess. That just increases the speed of which it's the cooldown rate, so you'll be firing off your weapons more frequently. Hopefully this is looking alright. I don't want it to, in terms of frame rate on the stream. How does our Arcane Beam cooldown 7 seconds, so 30% would reduce its frequency of, or reduce its cooldown, so it'll be much more frequent. I think damage is fine because this is a big AoE attack. You know, let's replace that Arcane Beam. Void is cool, or that Arcane Beam's cool and all, but like Void I think is cooler. Well, not a lot of great. Let's just do Magnetic. Multicast. Do I want multicast? Probably. Merciless? Maybe. Now this one just applies a generalized multicast increase to all of your skills versus this one only to shadow skills, which I've got two, as you can see on the bottom, it highlights them. Do shadow, because none of these matter to me. Chaos versus, yeah, let's just do this. More damage. That's an extra 12%. Currently at 0, so let's get that. So there you go. There's an instance of Void firing off 4 multicasts in a row somehow. Let's do. We've got 3 skills getting increased by 40% versus 40% multicast. Let's do more damage. I'm good on skills. I guess I'll do venomous at this point. There's some poisoning happening, so might as well just add more poison. Doesn't really matter, honestly. These are all like lower skills. They're not like nothing crazy or anything. Agile, let's get that. Skip all that. Multicast, let's get more of those. These little red orb things that I'm firing out, that's the thing that I just increased for multicast, so I'm firing out constantly with them now. Multicast. The way I see it is if you can fire off multiple instances of the thing, that's better than just increasing damage. Let's do this one, legendary. Multicast by 60%. That's huge. I believe that. Do I have it as random? I think it's still random. So there are some skills where they're fired at a random location, but I have a rune. There's a rune that lets me aim where it goes. Oh, let's just do this. Damage. Let's go merciless. Fire crit damage. Well, that's some great UI. Oh, this is something could be fixed. Let's do higher AoE so we can do bigger voids and shadow orbs. Debilitating Plague. Every time you apply stack poison, there's 50% chance of applying doom. Or there is agile. Let's go agile. Doom is a neat mechanic that I am not using in this for this character, but there's other characters that really utilize it. It's a debuff that does a little bit of damage, but then more stacks of it deal more damage, but then also there's a threshold where it just instantly kills the enemy, and that includes bosses. So if you can apply a ton of doom stacks to an enemy, then you could easily just kill them in one shot, or, you know, at that point. Let's go attack speed. So there is some like a little bit more 3D physics going on in here. So like some knocking back and knocking up into the air. I'm surprised I haven't been knocked out of a level yet. I guess I'll do more venomous. I currently have 2 of them, so I'll add another one. Alright, I need to replace something. Not because I need to, but because I want to. Let's get rid of... I know it's a bad thing, because Glacier's cool and all, but... Actually, let's check. What is something I don't need as much? Or I have the fewest... Maybe, yeah, maybe Glacier. Or do I do Shadow Orb? Because I want to do Death Vortex. That's a fun one. Let's just replace... Yeah, let's replace Shadow Orb with... I've somehow become a Shadow user now all of a sudden. I don't know. Let's go Agile. Yeah, I think it was a good idea keeping the Glacier because the Void pulls things, pulls enemies to a single location, and then I can just blow them up. Let's skip all that. Does this... Wait, why is this not highlighting? So it applies to magical. Oh, wait. Everything I have is magical. Why isn't it highlighting? That's weird. So everything should get a bonus multicast, right? Did I figure that correct? Sure, yeah. Might have been just a UI thing, UI bug. So I'm getting knocked up in the air because there are these little... You'll see them on occasion on this, with this, at least at this difficulty and higher. There are little explosive goblins. Let's see if I can find any. There's one. Got themselves some, like, kegs on their back. Let's do multicast, I guess. Alright, let's get... Do I want more Doom? I don't know if I have any, actually. Or at least from this... Let's do more Frailty. That just... I've got one of them, looks like? Yeah. If this were a higher difficulty, I would be investing in Frailty for sure. Because having just anything that flat or just increases all of your damage is worth doing. Let's do that damage. All of this purple stuff. let's get... How big are these? How much? What's my increase? 60%? Do I want that? Or do I want more multicast? Let's do higher AoE. I'm surprised how frequently I'm dropping like 4 of those voids in a row from 4 multicasts. Chaos Totem. I don't think I've seen those. Let's not use that. Oh, I think something broke in the UI because it's no longer showing the highlights. Things that are affected. Totems are okay. They kind of just drop into place into a single location and then they fire off some effect for a duration. But when you have to move around a lot, it's like it's not as good, I think. There are definitely applications for it, but like not what I'm currently doing. More damage. Alright, so that clears out this. It's interesting they keep upgrading the... Oh, there it goes. It sort of fixed. The UI's still a little weird. Oh, sweet. They allow me to keep going. Believe red is what I want to do. Because this is like endless mode. Blue is you're just done with a run. I wish this stuff like was more obvious of what it was. Oh, right, it's... I think what it does is it kind of just... just drops you into a different level. Kind of would have wanted to stay in that level. Hypothermia. That's cool. I don't have any... Oh, I do. That's right, I still have the... Does the supply slow? It does. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So early on in this game, while you're unlocking stuff, time you apply a stack frailty, you apply bleed. I'm probably not stacking frailty all that often, but let's do Fatal Strike. So early on, there's some challenges that require you to complete a level in a certain amount of within a certain amount of time. So like, the strategy for that is kind of just stick into a corner and let all the enemies come to you, where they'll spawn because they'll spawn at the edge of the map. Let's do frailty. Just keep going with that because right now I believe the game is, I believe it's more frailty. I believe it's currently increasing in difficulty for this mode, which is why I'm required to defeat 10 Lords of the Void, which are what they call the bosses. Skip all that. Ooh, multi-gas. Or these are all good choices actually. 45% is a lot. Let's do multi-gas. There is diminishing returns for multicast. More faithful strikes. It's funny how many debuffs I'm applying to enemies. Let's go area of effect for that. So now 2 bosses are spawning at this level of difficulty. Let's stick with what we got. More damage. More attack speed. Air effect. Let's get out of there. More frailty. We're at four of those. So that gets up to 12%. Oh, we get it to 15. There's a 10% chance of it applying, but like we're firing off so many effects. %, crit rate. Let's do that. More frailty. Let's do, I guess, magnetic. I believe magnetic also increases your XP rate. Let me see. 20%. Increases your XP experience modifier by an additional 20% and increase the pickup range. So yeah, it's doubly effective. Bigger AoEs for that is always good. Also more damage is good. Yeah, let's just do more damage. Good choices here. Oh, wait. Do we want bigger for Chaos Missile? And AoE doesn't matter for that. Unchained Chaos doesn't matter that much for that. Just more damage. For Void and Death Vortex. Shit. Seems like the Glacier's doing a ton of damage. Like the Glacier seems to be the thing that does like a lot of upfront damage. Multicast. What is the multicast on this already? 156. Yeah. That'll get us over to 200%. More multicast. Bombs. Enough fire enough. Chaos bombs. Let's. I guess we'll do gangrene. Increase cast frequency for everything. Do flat damage increase. Or, it's not flat, but it applies to everything instead of just specific things. Let's go attack speed. Multicast. I don't recall if there's anything that applies that stacks damage based on the number of debuffs enemies have. There might be, that I'm forgetting about, because that would totally be worth it in these cases where I'm applying so many debuffs to enemies like this. I guess expansive. Agile. I got hit by something. Just a tail end of a shot of some kind. Do more damage. I got stuck there for a second. Oh, there's a guy in there. So you can't get caught up on enemies, but like you're usually killing them fast enough that it doesn't become a problem. Multicast. Let's get that. More voids. Where are we at for void? 192. Is 192 the... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, is 192 the max? Because I thought we hit 200 for that, but that was a chaos bomb. More multicast. How many voids are we dropping next time? Just 3. We could do better. Only 2 that time. That was 4 voids in a row. More of this, sure. Debilitating Plague. Multicast for Glacier. More damage. Let's do multicast for Glacier. Glacier's the one that's... I feel like it's doing the most impacts as far as like singular hits for damage, like one big hit. It's not like the biggest AoE, but it is like when it hits, it seems like it's doing a lot. Let's do more frailty. Go up to 7 stacks of that. I think I'm lacking in damage now. Well, immediately gets exploded. Oh yeah, this guy's got a lot of doom on him. I guess attack speed, that's fine. Just watch him immediately explode. Look at that health bar. Once it gets enough doom, yeah, there he goes. Once it gets enough doom, it explodes. More frailty. Let's do attack speed. Let's do this. Is that damage or what was that one? Yeah, damage to AoE things. Area things. How is this guy not getting all that many debuffs? There we go. More attack speed. Let's do slow. I don't think I have any of these. But it doesn't hurt. Just more slow applied to enemies. Just applying a ton of debuffs. There's definitely builds where you can go much fewer debuffs and then just focus on damage or whatever. But like your best bet is like applying something. Especially for higher tier difficulties. Let's do 48% multicast. Just general. What is the damage like on this? 924. Let's do more damage. Because I think that'll then make. It'll apply more damage, I guess, and will increase the threshold for Doom, I believe, for that. I'm not sure. Chromatic bolt. Thermal shock. This guy's gonna quickly melt. There he goes. And that was it. And then it's giving you more upgrades and stuff just in case you want to keep going. I think I'm gonna call it for this game for right now. And then I'll move on. I could keep going. But let's see if I got any. No achievements, that's fine. So yeah, as you can see in the details, Death Vortex did a lot of damage. Chaos Bomb, a lot of damage. Glacier, that was one I thought it would do a lot, but it actually didn't, surprisingly. Yeah, Void's not so much damage as it is like crowd control, I guess. Glacier, it applies a stun and slow, so it's like it's worth getting. And then it pushes enemies back, so it's like a big hit that does a lot of things, crowd control stuff. And it's on a short enough cooldown, at least at this point. Oh, I did have the room that targets a specific location. If I didn't have that on, everything would have been more randomized as far as the like Chaos Bomb and stuff like that. would have been a little more randomized for where it hits. But yeah, the next thing I'm kind of just focused on just unlocking more things, skills. Like some of these classes, like each class has 3 unique skills tied to them that are unlocked at different levels. So, and that affects just what shows up in the pool of things you can get. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna take a quick break and then move on to Dwarf Fortress. I'll see you in a bit.